Today, my presentation is about not a new feature, but new feature we are introducing. I use a REDCap user that allows seamless and effective real-time data flow from the HR system. So my presentation is brief. It's about a very high level overview about the series clinical data interoperability service. That's a feature, and also the work that is in progress in the university CTS. So series actually is a feature in REDCap that I mentioned. It allows to extract real time and HR data. It's kind of self-service in a sense. The user, the investigator or research coordinator can create a form, collect the data, map the data point that are listed or described by the end user to the EHR data point, and then adjudication of the data before hit the button and pull the data into the created CRF form. Some people call it instrument or data entry form. So they are. I will use CDIS term, clinical data interoperability service. So CDIS. So this app is a FHIR. I will not go into technical detail here, so you can find you build a better what is FHIR API, how it functions, and what it is, and we'll pull the data from. We will not go the technical detail. So both for Epic and Cerner, this CDIS actually works and pull data into it. So in the CDIS feature, there are two types of data form. One is called clinical data form, and the other is clinical data mart. There is a distinction. Clinical data pool is traditionally for prospective study. Only allows to go single patient record from EHR into REDCap. And the workflows get the data from EHR into REDCap. Two levels. You can create a REDCap REDCap window in the EHR web, or you can access the data to the REDCap by entering MRN. But in our IU implementation, we are not creating REDCap EHR webs or the EHR web window. So you can access the data by through the REDCap by entering MRN. So clinical data mart, especially bulk data load. And the bulk data load usually you can use for retrospective study, and you need to define the data elements for both CDP and PM. You need to define the REDCap, then you map it to the EHR data point. The way you describe a data point glucose, for example, may have 20 glucose, example of data points in EHR. Then you need to map it to the right one that have data available in. And it actually REDCap, the CDIS actually provide interface where you can pull the data and then you map it to the available data, and then you can pull the data and see, okay, this data mapped to the data I defined, and then you set the data into CRF. And the clinical data mart actually can create a data with additional data. And it is clinical data mart is good for temporal data. For example, labs that have many labs, many income, drugs, this kind of data, temporal visits, this kind of data you want to extract, then CD and with the right job. So the benefits, but before benefits, we need to know what are the challenges our investigator and research project from EHR. Usually they do manually. That is laborious and inefficient part of data quality. If they don't want to do manually data extract, they go data services. They ask, why not we get it from the research data warehouse? We have services, research data warehouse, and that are expensive, complex ETL process in place, costs a lot of money to create. But if you have this feature, you can track the data electronically, efficiently from the EHR to REDCap by creating one-time data mapping or data collection based in the once time. Keep extracting the data based on your schedule. Weekly, monthly, daily, whatever is the schedule you put it. And also you can create a data mart. So actually this service will replace both those that are expensive, more laborious, has complex controls involved. So, and also provide real-time, efficient, low-cost data collection. And so also good for the organization that don't have a big IT infrastructure and they can create registries. So this is some information I captured from the publication that Vanderbilt Institute developed this REDCap application. There are 12, but anyway, 12 Cerner sites means the 12 institute or healthcare system that use Cerner as their primary HR system. Use this, and there are 67 healthcare institutes. They are actually using series for electronic data. And this is some graphic that is in the data pool. I get it from the Alex Chang paper. This shows in 6 months of period how many data points the whole system. All right, the work in progress at IU. So I am working with IUH, ASDT, also Eskenazi Health, to settle this up. We went through a lot of actually, administrative challenges, especially the data privacy and security. Who will access this? What type of study will access this? Because they are very vigilant for the integrity of the data. They don't want to hand over, they don't want to open up the EHR window for somebody who pull bulk of the data and then they don't know what this is. But we have come up with a user access governor work. I can briefly tell you what it has inside. Any physician investigator who has dual appointment in IUH, IU mostly has, the investigator doesn't have IUH affiliation and find a collaborator. All this right now, the implementation of CDIS is just for clinical data pool, single patient record, and also only for the perspective. This is what we are discussing. And the draft is in place. It has to go through the review process with the committee. And we are hoping within the next couple of months, they will approve the draft. And to test the utility of CDIS, we identify some use cases that are in the development phase. We had a demo last week and it looks so promising. In a month or two, you guys will find in the REDCap newsletter that CDIS feature is available. For the prospective studies that are collecting EHR data. So we have seen some promising results. And similarly, we are working with Eskenazi Health. We have selected a use case and we are working with them and we are hoping in a month or two, we will also test that. And we have results. So that's why in my presentation, I couldn't show you any screenshot because everything is in development phase. The work, the healthcare organization, IT work function, they don't want to hear anything unless. So right in the development phase. And finally, I work meetings with UX, Joe Butler, and he's here, Carl Michael, and at IUH is Saravanan. And Titus is a PI for the CTSI. So this is the any question?
Wait, before you ask the question, I'll run as fast as I can. Thank you. I have a bunch of questions. I'll just ask one and let others do it first. So I'm gonna pick. So how do you map it to the EHR data points? Is this, you also said there's an initial setup required by IT. Those two go together? Or like we have to know data field names in
I left this.
Cerner?
So it's not, they mentioned CDS a fully self-service, but it's not fully self-service. Here in IUH environment. So what will happen when you need a CDS to implement it for your REDCap study? Somebody will interact, the technical person from IUH will interact. There is a EHR mapper interface, the REDCap. So before you discuss your data points and they create interface for you first time. And then they will help you to map, train you how you can do. But you have to interact with them first and tell them what data you will expect. They want to know in advance. You cannot access the CDs feature. You have the login, you have access, and you create all by yourself without telling them. That's a process. They want to oversight it, what you are collecting, who is collecting, and how you gonna manage it, who is sharing. Sometimes it's a collaborative study with the other institute. And you have to go through the DUA process. So there is a EHR mapper. I'll find that.
Hey, is there like a cost associated with getting that set up, or is that free to IU researchers, or how does that work?
Very small cost. I will tell you maybe a couple of $1,000.
Thank you.
Because if you right now create a registry asking a IT service department, it costs you $70,000 to $100,000. But if you create by yourself, it's very small cost, maybe $3,000 to a couple of $1,000. Not going to exceed more than 10.
Thank you.
So can this be used with like existing databases already, or do you have to create a database? Say we have like retrospective and prospective, be created product, or can this be added to the existing database?
Once this feature will launch in a couple of months, you will only need to create for the new perspective studies. You cannot have for the existing one or unless this is what when this feature will launch. But with the time when the clinical data mart feature will come, then you can provide a list of MR numbers like 100, 200, or 1,000. Then, but initially it's new studies.
Side to side.
Demographics very static. We can go labs, discrete labs, drugs, conditions, but no free text data, no physician notes, reports, anything unstructured is impossible. Anything that is recorded in Cerner as a structured data, maybe surveys. There are some, surveys people use. If they are in structured format, they can, but nothing unstructured. Ultrasound is a
Wait, repeat the question, so sorry.
ultrasound scan images report, free text report like PDFs, free text data is not.
So I'm thinking like there's labs, but then there's another section that has sound.
So I think you might have answered this while I was busy writing some notes. Are there plans for some predefined data marts coming with this? Or is it just the mapping one, just the mapping option? Well, you're mapping both, I guess, but things you just described, and you do them on the fly for your project versus no predefined data mart, like a predefined cube, for example.
We defined cohort, predefined data mart, like you already created a database.
Like somebody else, like you guys would say, here's a list of, here's a data mart of popular demographics fields to pull from.
That actually the first time when you meet, they can tell you, okay, these are the fields that are in this form. But you can actually, there is a search field, the REDCap instance, EHR search data elements, you search it, it pulls those data elements out, and you can see the values along with the data element. So that's why I say, for example, if you take a glucose, maybe there are 20 similar glucose values in EHR, but not all the values you have a data in EHR because glucose maybe have many terminology or code. That doesn't mean they have data. So you can pull it there and you can see, okay, these are the glucose value with this unit, whatever milligram per deciliter, whatever number. This had data in the EHR, so I'm gonna select these one. And I'm gonna create mapping to the data point, REDCap. So it allows one to many and many to one relationship.
We have a question online, several questions. The first is, I imagine a lot of people will be interested in this. Will there be enough staff to quickly work with teams to implement projects and systems up and running? Natasha, just speak into the mic.
Yes, it looks like somebody's in, so. We are working in collaboration with IUH and Eskenazi Health, so they have the staff, they are working on it, dedicated staff. We have no issue with the resource.
So there's another question. The person didn't hear your answer on the cost. So is there any cost associated with it?
There is a very minimum cost associated with it, like a couple of $1,000. It's not a huge cost. I don't think there's more than $10,000. But once this feature will release, IUH and Eskenazi Health gonna release the cost model along with them. Okay, if you have this many data points, it will cost this. Or this many, for example, you have 200 data points, it will cost a lot, but not in tens of thousands. But it's one time implemented. Once you define your data elements, map to them, it's done. Then you just need to pull the data and refresh it.
And Amber has a question. Will there be an update when implemented for IUH Cerner? Or an email announcement or otherwise?
We will actually make an announcement through REDCap newsletter. They actually circulate every month. We'll make that announcement.
Or did you have more questions?
Oh. Just make a quick second comment.
Who's raising their hand that I cannot see?
You're giving it nice.
Oh, Andy, well, no wonder.
May not get it back. So my name is Andy Aronson and I'm the lead technical administrator for REDCap. Just want to underscore some of the things that were shared. This is a project that we've been working on for many years, and we have the technical side of it working. But you can imagine that there are a lot of concerns about data leakage. Comes to this sort of data out. So there's been governance team. Make sure that when it comes out, it is something that makes sense. And that process isn't. So Waqas has done a good job explaining a lot of the types of things that are possible. When you ask some of the specific questions about what exactly it will look like, wondering why we don't know exactly what, it's because we don't